Welcome to Tabletop Battle Adventures DDay 0800 hours turn 16. This will be the introduction video. We are looking at Carentan, which is held by the 6th Fallschirmjäger. Major Vonderheit, commander of the 6th Fallschirmjäger, is positioned on the second floor of the church tower with his radio operator. Inside of this building on the second floor is an MMG team, medium mortar in the courtyard. The only casualty for the 6th Fallschirmjäger so far is one killed earlier in the battle. It was a sniper in the attic of this building. 6th Fallschirmjäger forward observer moving toward the ruins. Their flamethrower team supporting half of 3rd section. 3rd section leader positioned here. And he's got 2 soldiers with rifles. And inside the first floor of this building is the one of the LMG teams from 3rd section. Also, the other LMG team from 3rd section is on these stairs working their way into this building. The rest of 3rd section is here with their rifles, Panzerfaust, and 3rd section assistant leader positioned here. On the 2nd floor of this building, there is a Panzerschreck team in the far left window, and in the attic there is a sniper, Sergeant Neiman. And that's who controls Carentan. Both bridges are held by the 6th Fallschirmjäger. Objectives for them, for the Germans and the U.S. forces. U.S. forces want to destroy the bridges before the German reinforcements can arrive, turn 24, which consists of some German armor. We'll get into details more as we get closer to turn 24. There's a lot of armor coming. The river lock is also an objective for both German and U.S. forces. The river lock has been held by the 6th Fallschirmjäger this entire battle, and it is open and has been flooding the green fields. Infantry only advance, no run, and no vehicles at all. The brown fields are normal movement and they're not flooded at all. Hedgerows block line of sight. Once the enemy is within 4 inches in a hedgerow, they spot each other. And if a vehicle approaches a hedgerow or infantry and they get within 4 inches of a hidden unit, they spot them also. The hedgerows do block line of sight. Back here we have the 6th Fallschirmjäger 2nd section leader and half of 2nd section LMG team in the corner, 2 soldiers with assault rifles, Panzerfaust. The 6th Fallschirmjäger platoon sergeant positioned here. Over here we have half of 1st section, the leader, LMG team, and 2 soldiers with assault rifles and Panzerfausts. The other half of 2nd section has advanced forward to support the 1058 Grenadiers who've been in heavy fighting with the 506th. Here's 2 soldiers from 2nd section with Panzerfaust assault rifles. These 2 soldiers here are the 1058 Grenadiers platoon sergeant and 1 man. And then moving forward as a scout and a picket, I suppose, is the 2nd section of the 6th Fallschirmjäger assistant leader. Pushed him forward in order to locate the U.S. forces, and they have spotted each other, and so both German and U.S. forces are aware of at least these 2 soldiers' positions. Maybe more like maybe even the bazooka teams within 4 inches. We'd have to measure. Similar over here, so this was first section, as I mentioned, of the 6th Fallschirmjäger. The other half of first section, the soldier in the middle center screen is the assistant section leader, and the soldiers closest to us, that's the LMG team from first section, and in the distance there's one soldier with an assault rifle and a Panzerfaust from first section. They moved forward to support the 1058 Grenadiers on this flank, who also had to fall back after taking heavy losses. And there's a soldier here at the end of the hedgerow is one of the survivors from the second section of the 1058, and he's an LMG gunner. The other two survivors of that second section are here, assault rifles and Panzerfaust. At least one of them has a Panzerfaust. Sergeant Ronald's half-track positioned here in the road, and he has a soldier from first section of the 6th Fallschirmjäger who jumped inside earlier in the battle after all his crew was killed in the ambush that took place in the road. 6th Fallschirmjäger's platoon leader was in a meeting in this building with the 1058 Grenadiers platoon commander, First Lieutenant Kreutner, but First Lieutenant Reese has moved out to lead the left flank now that the 6th Fallschirmjäger and the 1058 and the 100th Panzer have they're all working together here to stop the 506th. The other two armored vehicles from the 100th Panzer is Sergeant Gerald's half-track, who's had a grenade tossed on him this past turn, survived. The grenade was thrown by Sergeant Caleb the sniper. We'll get into the 506 in just a few minutes. So Sergeant Gerald's half-track, two soldiers were just killed from 3rd section of the 1058th after they pushed forward to chase down and kill the BAR soldier from 2nd section of the 506th. And they failed, missed, and then it was Sergeant Travis's M8 scout car that opened up, and I believe the MMG missed, but he hit him with the heavy machine gun on top, killed both soldiers. So that just happened. And then the leader of the 100th Panzer, 3 armored units, is here in the Puma, and Sergeant Eulander, First Lieutenant Eulander, he just took a shot over here this past turn, missed this 2nd squad LMG team at the end of the hedgerow. But the LMG team they're spotted, their position can be fired upon. All other soldiers are hidden in the hedgerows and even behind hard cover positions, except for the just mentioned 2nd squad LMG team. And then maybe these two can spot if they're within 4 inches. And then these soldiers here their position is known as well. Some of the 6 Fallschirmjägers have made it all the way forward to here to support the 1058th. Also, we have the forward observer from 6 Fallschirmjäger, 3 soldiers on the boxes, and the medic is on the ground there behind them. Positioned here on the balcony, we have 1058 Grenadiers 3rd Section assistant leader. And inside the farm building, we have platoon commander, First Lieutenant Kreutner, and his radio operator. And then we have some of 3rd Section soldiers. We have the 1058 Grenadiers sniper. We have the 2 LMG teams from 3rd Section. And the sniper will start on ambush. Oh, and also the 6 Fallschirmjäger sniper that's in the attic of building in the center screen will also be starting on ambush. The 1058 Grenadiers have a 1st Section LMG team here in the corner, and 1st Section leader, Sergeant Michael. They're the survivors from 1st Section. I think there's only 3 survivors from 3rd Section, or from 1st Section, and there's only 3 survivors from 2nd Section of the 1058 Grenadiers. And then 3rd Section, I guess there's 5 survivors then. So taking some heavy losses. The Okay, so the 100th Panzer, they've only taken losses of crew. I think they've had 3 crew killed. The 6th Fallschirmjäger, as I mentioned, they've only taken 1 man KIA earlier in the fight. And the 1058 Grenadiers are up to 19 soldiers KIA. And no wounded currently. No wounded within the 6th Fallschirmjäger's ranks either. And then now we'll move on to the 506th. So the 506th, they have only 4 soldiers left from first squad. The 506 have no casualties last turn, but they're at 24 KIA, so they've taken some. I think that's about 33% of what they started with. So first squad soldier in the front of the stack, second squad assistant leader, followed by the first bazooka team, and here we have a LMG team that will be starting on ambush in the hedgerow, and it's gonna be a nasty fight coming up here because they know about each other finally. You know, we've got the 6 Fallschirmjägers soldiers here on ambush, plus platoon sergeant from the 1058 on ambush. The LMG team here in the corner on ambush. I already mentioned the sniper in the second floor here on ambush. Here we have the platoon leader, First Lieutenant Corey, and he's moving forward with his radio operator messenger to lead the left flank. And that's it over here. Oh, there's 1 soldier that survived from the 2nd MMG team here at the end, so just the gunner's alive. So, and out of those 24 KIA for the 506th, 8 from first squad are killed, and 8 from third squad. Second squad has only taken 2, and the heavy weapons section has taken 6 KIA. Those, a lot of losses, but they've got to get forward. But they want to shut the river lock off so they can then, when their armor comes reinforcing from once the beaches are taken, they'll be able to move freely through these fields rather than they're flooded now. Once they shut the river lock off and take control of it, they will, in D3 turns, the fields will be, we'll probably do 1 plus D3 turns. The fields will be no longer flooded. The 57mm AT gun has been steadily moving forward. It started down here, maybe in the road, the beginning of the battle. They've wheeled forward here. They are going to be able to put fire down here toward the river lock. Get these German defenders from second section away from the objective. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this. The 2 bridges, the reason the Germans want to hold it because they want their armor reinforcements to arrive at the end of turn 24 or on turn 24. They're gonna, all that armor I gave you a sneak peek of is gonna come from the far side of town, and either run over the 506th if the beaches haven't, or if the armor hasn't made it off of Omaha Beach and made it to the end of these roads over here. We'll see what happens. So a few turns to go. Moving along, the first MMG team from the 506 has moved forward, and I don't know if they're within 4 inches or not of being spotted by Sergeant Michael of the 1058th First Section leader. But we'll find out. It's going to be a nasty firefight coming up. Sergeant Travis's M8 scout car kind of stuck there right now, but I think he might be able to see through that intersection. Possibly if Sergeant Gerald reverses, he might be able to knock him out, so maybe we'll stick him on ambush early. For the 506th, we have also Sergeant Jory here starting on ambush. He'll be spotted this turn on a 4. After a sniper fires, roll a d6, and on the first shot from the position he's hidden in, on a 6, he's spotted. On the second shot, a 5, third shot, a 4, so forth. Until they move position, then they're hidden all over again. After the 2 Germans were killed from 3rd section of the 1058th here in the hedgerow, really Sergeant Gerald better get out of there because he's got no infantry with him anymore to deal with all these hidden soldiers. Well, these soldiers here, the second squad LMG team is not hidden, but Sergeant Caleb the sniper is hidden, And probably the BAR soldier from 2nd Squad is not hidden either, because they might be within 4 inches of the gunner. Regardless, need to get out of here with them. Sergeant Caleb will start on ambush. Back here we have the medium mortar for the 506th, and right now they've been firing on the 2nd floor window, far right, I believe, but that's their marker on the ground. They're going to switch targets now because the sniper has moved to the center window. The the light mortar has been aiming for the far left window, 2nd floor, but the 1058 3rd Section LMG team that was in that window has vacated the window, so now they'll move targets this turn. Over here we have the 3-inch AT, and they've lost one soldier to that sniper from the 6th Fallschirmjäger, Sergeant Neiman, that's in the building in the center of the screen across the river. But that sniper has backed out of that spot, so they're safe for now. They set up a blockade earlier in the fight when it seemed like the 100th Panzer Armor might come blasting down the road to get them. 506 took a lot of losses over here too. Mostly that was from third squad that took 8 KIA over here. Platoon commander Captain Carey leading the right flank attack. 2nd squad leader Sergeant Braden, and a couple of LMG team, it looks like here. Close. And then up here we have an extra LMG loader, and then 2nd squad soldier in the corn. It's like 2 2nd squads, or one's 3rd squad BAR soldier here, and then a 2nd squad soldier with a rifle. 2nd squad soldier here with a SMG, and then 3rd squad leader Sergeant Jake McNeese, and they are all hidden, moving through the garden. Platoon Sergeant David moving up the hedgerow. Everyone's hidden, as I mentioned. The flamethrower team will start on ambush, and also 3rd squad assistant leader Sergeant Brandon will start on ambush. And in front of him is the 2nd bazooka team, and we're just getting closer. He still can't fire the bazooka yet because he can't fire through the hedgerow. He needs to get where he's close enough to, or at an angle where he can shoot without shooting through the hedgerow. Up in the front, we're using the medic as the scout. So you'll see green D6s and brown D6s. Those represent the grenades held by the U.S. forces and the Germans. And when a soldier is killed, the grenades lay there on the ground where his body is, and anybody can pick up those grenades. So I think I mentioned everyone who's starting on ambush: the 2 snipers, the flamethrower team, 3rd squad assistant leader Sergeant Brandon. Oh, and of course, Colonel Sink, commander of the 506th. He's here in the hedgerow also. And I think that's everybody from the 506. Now that I'm on this flank, we'll go into more detail. I kind of forgot to do that. Here's the position of the 6th Fallschirmjäger, half of the 1st section that pushed forward with the assistant section leader, LMG team, one soldier over here with a assault rifle, Panzerfaust, all hidden. Also hidden here is the 2nd squad, or 2nd section soldier, the LMG, and this is the 1058 Grenadier survivor. And he's also hidden on ambush. And I think that wraps up this table. So it has been an epic fight. Again, 6th Fallschirmjäger platoon, only 1 KIA so far. The 100th Panzer, all armored vehicles still in the fight, but they have taken, Sergeant Ronald's half-track has taken 3 KIA from his crew. It's just him and driving, and the soldier from the 6th Fallschirmjäger 1st Section who joined his crew as they were moving over to this position earlier in the fight. And then the 1058th, 19 KIA, which, they've taken some nasty losses. Yep, okay. It's, let's move. I think that's everything for this battlefield. Over here on Omaha Beach. The 916th Grenadiers 1st Platoon took 5 KIA last turn. So last turn, the 506, to rewind again, the 506 took no casualties last turn. So no casualties. Over on this table, and the 1058 took only 2 casualties last turn on this table. So total, only 2 soldiers were KIA on this battlefield last turn. But in total, for the whole fight, 24 506 soldiers killed, 19 1058 Grenadiers, 1 6 Fallschirmjäger. So looks like 20 in total on this table KIA for the Germans. 23 if you count the crew for the 100th Panzer. So 23 and 24 for the U.S. forces. Interesting. Over here, the 916th Grenadiers 1st Platoon took 5 KIA this last turn and 14 in total. And that includes some of their soldiers are within the ruins of this exploded building. Also, this is filled with the dead soldiers from, I think there's 5 of their dead soldiers in that building. The Goliath, one of the Goliath team members, was shot down by, I think it was like it might have been just a flamethrower's assistant with a rifle, something like that. Let's see who else. Where else have we got some dead from that particular platoon? On the second floor of this building, there's some dead 1st Platoon soldiers. Here they got hit. I think it might have been the bombardment. Or no, I think it was the T-34 Calliope that might have got him with a rocket. I don't remember. Too much has happened. But that's some more of their dead. Anyways, so in total, 1st Platoon has taken 14 KIA and 5 last turn. And then the 916th Grenadiers 2nd Platoon, they have taken 2. They took 2 this last turn at KIA, and I think it was this soldier here from the 2nd Platoon, 2nd Section, the LMG loader. The other soldier's wounded, bleeding out at the end of next turn. Who was the other soldier? Oh, and then over here, the 2nd Platoon, 3rd Section soldier. There he is, lying dead in the trench. Those are the 2 they lost, and that's all they've lost in total. So for the Germans on this, over here, they've got a total of 16 KIA for this fight over here, which is not that bad. They survived the naval bombardments. And for their positions, I'll give you sneak peeks here. Obviously, MMG team here. In this bunker here, there's second. Actually, this was 2nd Platoon MMG. This is 1st Platoon's MMG. There's the sniper from 1st Platoon who'll start on ambush. And then the 1st Platoon's 2nd Section leader on the end. Back here we have some 2nd Platoon soldiers, 2 on the roof with the assault rifles. Inside the window here at the end of the building, there's the 1st Section leader, and then the double windows, there's an LMG team from 1st Section. Vacating the building, pretty much everyone is. The forward observers from 1st Platoon are still in that window there. They're working their way out. Oh, and then there's also the forward observers are working their way out of the building around the corner. Everybody wants to get out of this building because it's not a bunker and it can be destroyed pretty easily. Lined up here outside the building, we've got... Oh, also there's a Panzerschreck team trying to get out of the building. They're on the 1st floor with the 2nd Platoon's forward observers. And then these soldiers here are the 1st Platoon's forward observers that are working their way around the building. 2nd Platoon, 3rd Section is positioned here. Looks like that might be the platoon leader also on the end. And then the other part of, that's half of 3rd Section. The other half of 3rd Section has moved down to the lower level. Inside of this building, there's soldiers, 3 soldiers from 1st Platoon, all with SMGs. Down here, we've got 3 more soldiers from 1st Platoon with SMGs. In the back of this bunker, there's a little window, and there's a flamethrower team from 1st Platoon. And then this is the Pac 40's position. And here is the 88, this bunker. Inside of this bunker, we've got the 2nd Platoon commander and his radio operator. And then we've got soldiers from 1st section of 2nd Platoon, LMG team, and 1st section assistant leader, and 2 soldiers, all with assault rifles. This is 2nd Platoon's medic working his way down the trench. And then down here in this defensive line, this is 2nd Platoon's 2nd section. 1 man wounded, bleeding out, and 1 killed so far. But they've done quite a bit of damage. We'll get to the 116th Infantry soon. We'll look at what's happened to them. Here, the heavy mortar for the 916th, and they're hitting on a 2 on the 2nd Platoon leader in the Jackson, open topped. So obviously a good target to go for. Starting on ambush, I think on this table there's actually only 2 German units starting on ambush. The before mentioned sniper from 1st Platoon, or yeah, I think that's, or 2nd Platoon, whatever. And this one here is the other. This is 1st Platoon. Actually, this is 2nd Platoon. The one in there is 1st Platoon. And they're both snipers starting on ambush. And then we have in the center, here's 1st Platoon's commander, positioned here with his radio operator. Medium mortar. See, they are, oh yeah, they're firing. They're hitting on 5 this time. And they are trying to take out, let's see, we'll zoom in here and see if we can get a view. Right there, the heavy mortar for the 116th Infantry. They've got 1 man KIA so far over there. Moving this way, we've got a spotter moving over to call in some support fire on the beach. We've got 1st Platoon's flamethrower team. Inside of this bunker, we've got the GRB 39 grenade launcher. It also can be fired as an anti-tank rifle. The Goliath team falling back from that building, trying to get out of this building and this building. These are regular buildings. Everything else I'm running as if it's a bunker, but just those 3 are regular buildings, including the destroyed one that has the bodies of some of 1st Platoon soldiers. And then on the end here, we've got the 1st Platoon 2nd section leader and 2 soldiers. One has the, what is that called? It's the short-ranged Panzerfaust. Well, that's slipping my mind right now. Anyways, moving onward. I think that's everything for the 916th 1st and 2nd Platoon. Pretty strong position. I wouldn't want to attack it myself. I haven't mentioned this yet in this introduction, but you'll see by some of the buildings and bunkers that they have little pieces of paper that have a number. So -10. This building has already a -10 in its health, I suppose. Damage. This bunker here's got a -3 already. Just to give you a few examples, -3. So I'm just keeping track. When the building gets hit enough times, this building here just needs to be hit with 5 more points and it's collapsing. Okay, so for infantry and armor for U.S. forces on the beach, every time they receive an advance or a run order, they have to take a landmine check. And if they fail the orders test for the landmine check, they have to roll on a landmine chart. It might get might blow up on a landmine. And running on the sand is 9-inch, advancing on the sand is 5-inch, and in the water it's a 4-inch advance. No run. The armor can move freely on the beach, but the obstacles will not be able to be moved unless taken out by explosives one at a time with the infantry, or the dozer tank here, the M4 with the dozer blade that's already moved 1.5 obstacles. The plan over here is to push the obstacles out of the way and have the crocodile flamethrower tank follow behind, knock out the Pack 40, and then they'll hang a left, and the bulldozer will push out these obstacles, and then the crocodile will come around and then take out the 88. And clearing that path will also allow me to bring some other tanks like the T-34 Calliope, although it can stay in the back and fire those rockets effectively. But you could bring maybe this other Sherman, the first platoon leader next to the T-34 Calliope, first platoon leader. So what you're looking at here on this side, and the landmine check is on any of the beach area, and also this little darker where the Goliath landmine remote controlled tank here is. All of this area for the U.S. forces, they have to take landmine checks in any of the areas that's sand colored or light browns. And now over here on this side of the battlefield, get a nice view of these defenses. So once they get up behind this high tide mark, it does provide some cover, so they'll be able to feel a little safer. But these defenses just look awful to attack. Just awful. I'd have called in sick the day that we had to assault this beach. Hell, even if I was the defender, I'd have called in sick for that job. So here on the beach of Omaha Beach, the goal is they need to kill all the Germans, capture the beach, clear the beach, and then they need to get up this road, because then on 1 plus D3 turns, they are going to arrive on these roads, and then they'll be able to support the 506, hopefully before the heavy German armor reinforcements come through Carentan. So I'm hoping that somehow it'll be timed right, but turns 16 0800 hours now, and they have to move all the way up to get onto the road, and that way by turn 24, I don't think so. It might be more turn 36. By then the German armor will be rolling over these bridges, if the 506 haven't got to those bridges and knocked them out. Even if there's only 2 soldiers left, it'd be a fair trade, because they're all going to die anyways if the Germans make it to the hedgerows before the U.S. armor makes it. Anyways, so here we're looking at the 743rd Tank Battalion. This is the company commander for Company A. And then we have the company first sergeant. And we have a second platoon tank. Earlier in the fight, second platoon tank here was knocked out. First platoon tank here, they've been, I think he's kind of covering the infantry, supporting this way. And we've got these other 3 tanks here that have been trying to knock out the 88. The 88 already took this tank out, but they've been getting pretty lucky not getting taken out. Here the second platoon leader is in big trouble with the heavy mortar hitting him on a 2 this turn. First platoon leader, cover fire on the Pack 40, plus the T-34 Calliope has been really useful knocking out German positions. And we have the M4 with the dozer blade, very useful. They've pushed out one obstacle, soon another. I think they would have been further, but he failed his check, like a landmine check. Luckily, no damage, just blew up in front of him. And the crocodile flamethrower tank's just waiting to get through, knock out the fortifications. nothing's going on with the 743rd. Let's go over here to the, I need to get my stat book. So the 116th Infantry Company A, 1st Platoon. They took heavy losses this last turn. 15 was 7 KIA. They already had 2 KIAs. Now they're at 9 KIA. Plus they've got a wounded soldier here who's bleeding out the end of this turn, the heavy machine gun loader. And is there any more wounded soldiers? There is one. But look at all those dead, killed. The 116 took heavy losses. There's a wounded soldier here also who'll be bleeding out in 2 turns. So the 116th is positioned from here. All the infantry you see on their feet, a lot of pins. This is all the 116th Infantry. The end is the heavy weapons. We've got the platoon guide. Then we've got some 3rd Squad soldiers, platoon leaders behind the company commander of the 743rd's tank. We've got the sniper will start on ambush here for the 116th. 2nd Squad, and there's actually 3rd Squad soldiers mixed in here, but 2nd Squad starts here all the way over this way to about this tank, and then starts, there's the platoon sergeant here for the 116th. We've got a forward observer here. The heavy mortar. There's another, right here's the other sniper for the 116th. He's going to start on ambush. These 1st Squad soldiers pushed, they were pretty far up, but 1 killed, 1 wounded. Then the 116th, actually all the way up here is the other part of the 1st Squad. There's the 116th 1st Squad leader. They've got a flamethrower. There's the flamethrower, the assistant with the rifle that took out the Goliath soldier running, trying to escape. And 1st Squad's pretty much, yeah, that's the end of 1st Squad for the 116th. Then right here is where the Rangers start. So you've got the Rangers heavy weapons, the company commander. This is the 2nd Rangers, Company C. And it's the whole company I built as they were. And this soldier here from 2nd Rangers, 2nd Platoon, 2nd Squad leader, he's going to start on ambush. Looking here, we're looking at a lot of 2nd Platoon, 2nd Squad soldiers. And then this is 2nd Platoon, 1st Squad soldiers, the fully painted. We've got the 2nd Platoon commander right behind the painted group. I think the platoon, yeah, actually the 2nd Platoon sergeant is working his way with the company commander. This medic just saved this soldier this past turn. And then once we get to the crocodile, it switches over and it becomes the 2nd Rangers 1st Platoon of Company C. And this is a 2nd Squad positioned through here. Here is actually the company 1st Sergeant went with this platoon, center screen. And so yeah, 2nd Squad, and the Rangers haven't had any KI, no killed in action, as you can see through here. Just 2 wounded soldiers, and they're not even bleeding out very soon. They've got quite a few turns. The Rangers have gotten lucky. It's still, but now that these guys are getting out here and getting in position, it's going to be a lot more rounds flying down. And also, once they get around this barricade, it's, I don't know. We'll see. It seems easier than what the 116th is going through so far. Because the 116th, like I mentioned, they're at 9 KIA already. 743rd just has the 1 tank knocked out. And then it's just the 1st Platoon, 1st Squad from the far right. About here. Oh, and there's Platoon Commander for 1st Platoon. Also center screen behind the wounded soldier. And that's the position as of 0800 hours, turn 16. I might have forgotten to mention something, but that's where we're at. And there's still, in total, between both tables, both battlefields, we have 36 KIA for the Germans between both battlefields here on Omaha Beach. And Hedgerow's Karen 10 table, battlefield. So the Germans have 36 KIA and 1 wounded. And the U.S. forces have 34 KIA and 4 wounded. So it's very close, very close. I forgot something, so be it. Let's move forward. The U.S. forces between both battlefields have 100 order dice, and the Germans have 77 order dice. And the U.S. forces at Omaha Beach have 4 snipers starting on ambush, and 1 soldier from 2nd platoon, 2nd Rangers, 2nd platoon, 2nd squad leader will be on ambush. And for the Germans, it's just 2 snipers on the Omaha Beach battlefield that are starting on ambush. And then over here, there's 8 German units starting on ambush. I've already mentioned, and there are 5 U.S. units starting on ambush, which I already mentioned as going when I went through it. So in total, 10 German and 10 U.S. units starting on ambush, and that means there'll be 90 U.S. order dice in the bag and 67 German order dice in the bag. And this is what it looks like. We'll give that a better mix. First dice, German. Before we can get to that first dice, though, we do have a artillery strike we need to roll for. The 6th Fallschirmjäger forward observers on the boxes in center screen, they have called an artillery strike in. Now it's actually not on a unit. It's right next to this LMG team, but we're gonna call it in anyways because I think it gives out some pins. But before we can even get to that artillery, actually I think the artillery strike would be first, and then we're gonna roll off for ambushes. So the U.S. and Germans will each roll a d6, and whoever wins gets to spring the first ambush, and that's before this German dice here. And then you just keep rolling off for the ambushes until both of the forces are done using the ambushes, and then it'll be that first German dice. But before all that, I gotta call it a night. And next time, get to that artillery strike. And I think I got everything. All right. See you next time. Be 3 nights before I can get it back. Tomorrow night's a paint night, painting some Anglo-Saxons and Vikings for a future battle on this beach table. And then the next night I'm building. My daughter and I picked ACW, so we picked up, I'll do a second video for that, but we're building a division of Yankees and a division of Rebels to battle on this large table here once this D-Day battle is over. Alright, see you next time.